Hello, I'm going to give you a quick tour of RMBooks. So RMBooks is one of the book lending platforms that we have. It's a free platform, but obviously you have to pay money for the books. There are loads of free books on there as well. Unlike most library systems or book learning systems, you don't have to buy a book and lend them. Sometimes that's a problem because if you buy a book and it costs you £10, you can only lend that book to one person at a time. RMBooks are really good because actually we can borrow books through them, which makes us spend a lot less money. So you need to log in. It should be just your normal school login, and then you should all know your passwords. If not, please give me an email. My books. This is a book that I've allocated to myself to have a read of. When you have books allocated to yourself, it shows up in My Books on your home page. If you have the app, it will also show up in there. To read it, you just press View, and you can flick through it. We have a school library. Students can borrow books themselves. At the moment, it's only showing all the free books. We have actually just bought a whole range of secondary school books, but they're taking a little while to show up. But you can borrow it yourself, or you can lend it to someone, or you can tell kids to go into the school library and pick a book of their choice. So Books Shop, you might want to give a child a book to support their lessons. It could be a fiction book, it could be a non-fiction book. Non-fiction is down here. Sometimes be careful because you can see we have biology, chemistry and physics. We also have science. If you click science, it's going to show up quite babyish books, as you can see here. But then if you go into physics or one of the other areas, it's going to show books more suitable for some of our older students. Okay, these are a lot of textbooks and books that are used in English schools, which is really good. RMBook has only been running for about a year and a half, and they're constantly updating their resources. So this is actually a geography textbook that my last school used. You can also do things like look at reading age. So we might have someone who's probably the reading age of 9, maybe they're EAL, but they have the interest age of, slightly older. So if you click that, it will show you books that are suitable to them. So Anthony Horowitz, Adventures of a Wimpy Werewolf, which is a bit like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. Wayne Rooney, this book is actually made for low-level but high-interest range readers. RMBooks did originally start off with all these sorts of level books, so kind of EAL or reluctant readers with high interest range, but actually they are broadening their collection. They just added loads of Michael Morpurgo books, adding more and more kind of sixth form books as well. There's loads of things like Edge, which is graphic novels of classics. You can have a look by publisher as well. When you want to lend a book out, you can either let me know and I can buy it and add it to the library if it's just a book that you think kids might be interested in, or you can allocate it, and you can allocate it to yourself, a group. The groups are done by grades or an individual person. And as you can see, it's much cheaper, so rent from 21p for 7 days. And that's much cheaper than buying the book. Also, a lot of the books, they actually don't have the option of buying because publishers actually quite like this option, which is why I think more publishers will turn to RMBooks because they're quite worried about digital books, but with this kind of lending system, it suits them. As soon as you've allocated it, when a kid opens up their app or goes into RMBooks browser, it will show up here. Again, your wish list is just if you come across books and you think they'll be really interesting, but for later units, then let me know and have a look there. I just applied for some more credit for RMBooks. I can lend it out to you if you're someone who just wants to occasionally lend books, individual books, or kind of on a whim. But it's probably actually better at the moment if you just contact me and say, please lend these 3 books to grade 7 or this book to one individual student, just so I can keep track of the credit. We can also do things like see the usage. So at the moment, in the last however long, 847 pages have been read, and the time spent reading it has been 10 hours and 27 minutes. I really, really, really want to push that up. I want all subjects to get engaged and start using RMBooks more frequently, so we can really push this up. This is a great thing that we can show parents or visitors how much our kids are reading. Here I can add students, I can add teachers as well. If you want me to help you find books, say for example you're very, very busy but you're doing a project on space, just send me an email and I'll have a little browse through them. You might say, oh, I'm doing this one unit with grade 8 and they're all at different levels. Can you find me books suitable? And I can do that for you as well. Please spend a bit of time having a look through RMBooks. It'll be very useful to me and I think the kids would really benefit from it. Okay, thank you.